7:30.
Here are the 9 contestants preparing for today's show. Only one of them will win up to £10,000. The others will leave with nothing when voted off as the weakest link.
Welcome to the weakest link. Any of the 9 people in the studio here today could win up to £10,000. They've only just met, but to get the prize money, they'll have to work together. However, 8 will leave with nothing. As round by round, we lose the player voted the weakest link. Let's meet the team.
I'm Russ, 50 years of age, from West Sussex, and I'm a dog warden.
My name's Chioma, I'm 31, from Enfield, and I'm a management consultant.
I'm Craig, I'm 43, I'm from Perth, and I'm an examinations manager.
I'm Nicola, I'm 51, from Penzance, and I'm a housewife.
I'm Mike, I'm 26, from Wolverhampton, and I'm an employment coach.
I'm Di, I'm 45, from Matlock, and I'm a mental health support worker.
I'm Roland, I'm 69, from Hemsworth in West Yorkshire, and I'm a retired butcher.
I'm Holly, I'm 25, I'm from Wigan, and I'm a PhD student.
I'm Mark, I'm 35, I'm from Macclesfield in Cheshire, and I'm a security consultant.
OK, just to remind you, in each round there's £1,000 to be won. The fastest way is to create a chain of 9 correct answers. Break the chain, and you lose all the money in that chain. Say bank before the question is asked and the money is safe. Round 1, 3 minutes on the clock. We'll start with the person whose name is first alphabetically. That's you, Chioma. Let's play the weakest link. The first question is for £20. Start the clock. Chioma, in the Gregorian calendar, what is the name of the month that immediately follows September?
October.
Correct, Craig. In air travel, an announcement often made by a member of the cabin crew prior to takeoff and landing is, please fasten your what?
Seatbelts.
Correct, Nicola. In gardening, apart from its frame, a traditional greenhouse is constructed mainly from which material? Rubber or glass?
Glass.
Correct, Mike. In cookery, Madeira, marble and Victoria sponge are all types of which baked item?
Cake.
Correct, Di. In children's play, a light-hearted tussle using items of bedding is known as a pillow what?
Pipe.
Correct, Roland. In geography, the names of 6 of the 7 major continents end in which letter of the alphabet?
A.
Correct, Holly. In etiquette, the rules of behaviour for any given situation are often known as the do's and what?
Don'ts.
Correct, Mark. In British wildlife, black and brown are common names for 2 species of which rodents that resemble large mice?
Rats.
Correct. Russ, in pop music, the Welsh singer born in Tiger Bay in 1937 and made a dame by the Queen in 2000 is Shirley who?
Bassey.
Correct. Chioma.
Bank.
OK, you've reached and back to £1,000 target. And that money will go through to the next round. But one of you will not. Who's going to lose their ticket in life's lottery? Who's in for such a bump they should have an airbag? Time to vote on the weakest link.
In an impressive first round, Chioma is the strongest link. Craig is statistically the weakest link. But will the other players consider that when casting their votes?
Voting over, it's time to reveal who you think is the weakest link.
Roland.
Di.
Mike.
Mark.
Roland.
Holly.
Nicola.
Mark.
Mike.
We have a 3-way tie team. Roland, Mark and Mike have 2 votes each. What do you do, Mike?
I'm an employment coach, Jan.
So who do you help to get a job?
Long-term unemployed people.
Such as?
Well, people who've been out of work more than 12 months plus.
OK. Here's the bit that's puzzling me.
OK.
Why would I take advice from someone who looks like an ageing punk star and has dyed black hair?
Because, you know, obviously everybody's different. Everyone can have their own personality. But as long as you're presenting yourself in the right way.
So you think you look suitable to go for a job interview?
When I go to work, I'm always suited and booted and make sure I look my best.
And
yeah.
your hair, is it looking like a black walnut whip?
Yeah, probably is actually, yeah.
So if, say, you were going for an interview at a large bank,
Yeah.
would you be suitable?
Well, I wouldn't personally go for an interview at a large bank. It's not the career choice that I would have. But if that is something I'd want to do...
What career choice would you have?
Well, the one I have now, where I help people into work.
What are you suitably dressed to do other than what you're doing at the moment?
All sorts of things then.
Like what?
I used to run a shop, a punk shop, and the way I look was very good for that shop.
Where is it you work?
Wolverhampton.
And how many people come to you because they want a job running a punk shop? None?
I've had a few. Not many, but I've had a few.
Why Roland?
No reason at all, really. I mean, we had to vote for somebody, and just Roland is just, I like the name, so I wrote it down.
What do you do, Holly?
I'm a PhD student, Anne.
And when we finish paying for this long-term education, are you going to make a contribution to society?
Absolutely, Anne, yeah.
So you're studying what?
Now I'm studying English literature.
Yes, and what particular aspect of literature are you studying?
I study contemporary British fiction, and I look at representations of the city within kind of modern literature.
Yeah. And what sort of job are you going to get at the end of that?
I want to be an English lecturer, Anne.
Do you?
Yes,
so
an
you
academic.
can teach even more people to be artistic time wasters.
I can inspire people the way that my tutors have inspired me, and that's what I aspire to.
Why, Mark?
I had to put someone's name down, and Mark seems a little bit nervous today, so just maybe kind of anticipating how he might do later on.
What do you do, Craig?
I'm an examinations manager, Anne.
What are you examining?
We examine aircraft engineers from all over the world.
Oh, so you know all about flying?
A little bit, yes.
Only a little bit?
Yes, because I was an engineer, not a pilot.
Yeah. And which sort of aircraft are your engineers trying to mend?
All sorts of aircraft.
Like what?
Like a 747.
Okay,
or
put
an
your
Airbus.
board down. How does the 747 go when it's landing?
Okay, the 747 will come in like this, and then the nose will come up, and then it'll land.
Put your board up. Why, Mike?
Because he looks like a girl from Wales, I used to know.
Well, when the vote's tied, the strongest link has to cast the deciding vote, and the strongest link was Chioma. What do you do?
I'm a management consultant, Anne.
Where do you do that?
I go into different organisations, so...
In London?
In London, in the UK, abroad.
Really? So you're travelling 5 days a week, are you?
Well, not quite 5 days a week, because I'm only part-time at the moment.
Oh, you're lazy management consultant.
No, I've just had a baby, well, about a year ago, so
Okay.
I'm looking after her the other 2 days and the weekends, so...
Yeah, so you dump your baby for 3 days a week?
Well, I think she's being very well looked after with her grandmother, yeah.
It's a good job you're not a hairdresser, isn't it?
Is there
Did that
something
go wrong
with
at home?
This was done in the hairdressers, Anne.
Oh dear.
I was trying to replicate the colour that you've got, just on a
Yes.
little section though.
Is it a weave, that?
No, it's all mine.
Is it?
Yeah, 100%.
And any other skills outside work? Can you sing?
A little bit of singing. I
little
used
bit
to
of
do, yeah, a little bit of singing. Not now, because I have a baby. Obviously, I'm very busy looking after my baby.
Yeah, put your board down. Okay, what are you going to sing for us?
Rock Steady by Aretha Franklin.
Off you go. Just one verse.
Okay. Rock steady, baby, that's what I feel now. Let's call the song exactly what it is. Just move your hips, the feeling from side to side. Sit yourself down in your car and take a ride.
Put your board up. You could do that professionally, couldn't you?
I'd like to think so.
And then you could dump your baby every night of the week.
Yeah, I'll think about that.
Okay. There's a three-way tie, and you have to choose between Roland, Mark, and Mike. Who would you like to get rid of?
It's a tough decision.
Yeah.
Because they're all nice guys. But I think Roland.
Because he's old?
Because he's retired, he doesn't need the money as much as us.
Roland, you are the weakest link. Goodbye.
Have been sponsored per round by a lot of people to raise money for our local church's restoration appeal. And unfortunately, because I've been voted off in the first round, I cannot achieve what I intended to hope to achieve.
Round 2 and you have £1,000. We're now taking 10 seconds off your time. We'll start with the strongest link in the last round. That's Chioma. Let's play the weakest link. Start the clock. Chioma, at a wedding, what's the usual term for a male friend or relative of the bride or groom whose role in the church is to show guests to their seats?
Usher.
Correct, Craig. In medieval romance, what Q is the conventional term for an expedition or adventure commonly undertaken by a knight?
Quest.
Correct, Nicola. In pop music, which British performer devised his stage name by combining those of former bandmates called John Baldry and Elton Dean?
Elton John.
Correct, Mike. In weights and measures, what is the standard 2-letter abbreviation for the word kilogram?
KG.
Correct, Di. In advertising, the slogan, "Bet you can't eat 3" was used in the 1980s to promote which foodstuff, pork pies or breakfast cereal?
Breakfast cereal.
Correct. Holly, in home electronics, which word meaning far away is a term for the handheld device used to change TV channels from a distance?
A remote control.
I'll accept. Mark, the drama venue in the west of England, renowned for its youth theatre, is called the Bristol Old what?
Pass.
Vic. Ross, in nature, nectar is collected from flowers by bees to make a sweet substance known by what name?
Honey.
Correct. Chioma, the member of the UK Cabinet who is responsible for organising government business in the Commons, is known as the what of the House?
Speaker.
Leader. Craig, at the circus, what T is an alternative term for a high wire?
Trapeze.
Tightrope. Nicola, in the 2009 film adaptation of the Roald Dahl book entitled Fantastic Mr. Fox, which Hollywood actor voiced the title role?
Pierce Brosnan.
George Clooney. Mike, on British roads, a sign indicating a minimum speed limit is circular with a white number on a background of which primary colour?
Red.
Blue. Di, in modern languages, which French term describes someone not wearing any clothes? Au naturel or au pair?
Au naturel.
Correct, Holly. In pop music, Heathcliff, It's Me, Kathy, Come Home is a line from which 1978 UK #1 single by Kate Bush?
Wuthering Heights.
Correct. Mark, in retail history, when William Hamley opened his first toy shop in London in 1760, he called it Noah's what?
Ark.
Correct. Russ, in TV between 1995 and 2001, which all-round entertainer presented a new version of The Price is Right with his name in the title?
Pass.
Bruce Forsyth. Chioma, in botany, a popular garden plant with drooping spikes of white... Time's up, I can't complete the question, and you won just £200. So, who's the Minister for Morons? Whose public image is limited? Time to vote off the weakest link.
According to the statistics, Di is the strongest link. The weakest link is Russ. But will the votes pick up on the facts?
Voting over, it's time to reveal who you think is the weakest link.
Nicola.
Nicola.
Russ.
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 Chioma.
Russ.
Nicola.
Nicola,
Anne.
what do you do?
I'm well, I'm a housewife, but I'm retired really.
How old are you?
51.
Oh, you retired early.
Certainly did. Thank you, God.
This is the weakest link, it's not songs of praise. And where did you work?
Revenue and Customs.
You're tax officer?
Yeah,
Really? And is there an old husband at home?
there is.
Really? He retired as well, did he?
Well, he retired a bit before me because he's a bit older than me and he's retired properly. He was old enough to go.
What's his name?
Ian.
Where did you meet him?
At work.
In the tax office?
Oh, yes.
2 tax officers in retirement. There's nothing exciting about that.
I know. I mean, what do you talk about? Tax returns, coding notices, personal allowances.
I suppose you go on walking holidays in Wales, do you?
No, actually, we don't. We tend to go to Tunisia if we go on holiday.
What do you do in Tunisia?
Sightseeing, lounging by the bar, lounging by the pool, taking part in the evening entertainment.
So what do you do to take part in the evening entertainment?
I usually get roped in for the belly dancing.
OK, well, let's see how good you are. Put your board down. Jump down next to Mike.
It's easier with music. No,
Just
you
get
haven't got
on
any
with it.
music. All right.
Yeah. Well, maybe you were good as a tax officer.
Not really, no.
Hop up. And does Ian belly dance?
Well, he did once get called up by one of these professional people and made it look a bit stupid. So, but
Yeah.
it's not something he would do every day.
No, because he's a tax officer. Put your board up. Why Russ?
I remember him getting one wrong.
Craig, do you mend helicopters?
No, but I train engineers who do, Anne.
Oh, good. Put your board down. Show me how the helicopter goes.
Now, is this a big helicopter or a small helicopter?
It's a medium-sized helicopter.
Medium-sized. Okay. Well, the helicopters have a rotor at the back and a rotor on top, so they go...
Do they go different ways?
Yeah, sometimes.
Well, well, not sometimes. Should they go different ways?
I can't do that. I can't do
And
them
a
both the same
Chinook?
way. A Chinook?
Yeah.
Well,
Chinook?
I need help with a Chinook, Anne, because it's got 2 big ones at the top and a tail bit.
Well, I don't know who here's got 2 big ones. I don't think anyone. Put your board up. Why Russ?
Because they got a couple of questions wrong in that round, and I just like the name Russ.
Russ, you are the weak link. Right.
I didn't have a chance to talk to Anne, but she seemed, when she was talking to the other contestants, she seemed a lot scarier than any of the dogs I've had to deal with. She reminded me of a Rottweiler, black and tan, and really, really dangerous.
Round 3 and in the bank, £1,200. Another 10 seconds off the time. We'll start with the strongest link from the last round. That's Di. Let's play the weakest link. Start the clock. Di, in geology, what E is the single-word term normally used to describe a volcano that scientists believe will never erupt again?
Pass.
Extinct. Holly. In maths, what is 148 minus 22?
126.
Correct. Mark. In boxing, before the beginning of a bout and at the start of the final round, fighters are required to do what? Touch gloves or sing songs?
Touch glove, then.
Correct. Chioma. In literature, which of his novels published in 1928 did D.H. Lawrence refer to as an honest, healthy book necessary for us today?
Lady Chatterley's Lover.
Correct. Craig.
Bank.
In the home, a basic bathroom suite traditionally comprises a toilet, a bath or shower, and which other matching fixture?
Sink.
Correct. Nicola. In biology, in teenage boys, what P is the name for the stage of development in which the voice breaks and the facial hair begins to grow?
Puberty.
Correct. Mike. In quotations, Sir Winston Churchill observed that dogs look up to us, cats look down on us, but which farm animals treat us as equals?
Pig.
Correct. Di. In TV, presented by Ben Fogle, the 2009 spin-off from the Rural Affairs series Country File is entitled Country what?
Pass.
Tracks. Holly. In fashion, a close-fitting sleeveless jumper usually worn over a shirt is called a what? Tank top or bell-bottom?
Tank top.
Correct. Mark. In science, which optical instrument used in astronomy consists in its simplest form of a single tube with a lens at each end?
Telescope.
Correct. Chioma. In vocabulary, what name for a narrow, steep-sided valley is also a word meaning to feed greedily?
Trough.
Gorge. Craig. In many computer programs, what U is the name for the command that reverses the effect of the most recent operation?
Undo.
Correct. Nicola. In customs, what is the modern name for the midwinter religious festival that was formerly known as Yule?
Christmas.
Correct. Mike.
Bank.
The musician famous for collecting and reviving English folk songs in the early 20th century had what name? Cecil Sharp or Cyril Flatt?
Cecil Sharp.
Correct. Di.
Bank.
In medicine, glaucoma is a disease of which organ?
Eye.
Correct. Holly. In TV, the chef who became the main presenter of Saturday Kitchen in 2006 is James who?
Pass.
Martin. Mark. In carpentry, what L is the name of a machine tool used to cut, drill or polish a rotating block of material?
A lathe.
Correct.
Bank.
Chioma. In wildlife, what name is given to the individual marks on the coat of a leopard that are not usually visible on that of a black panther?
Bank.
Time's up. That was the correct answer, but your bank was out of time and you won £190. Who thinks Denise Van Outen is what a builder drives? Time to vote off the weakest link.
Di is the weakest link as she gave the most wrong answers. Statistically, the strongest link is Mark. But whose game is over?
Voting over, it's time to reveal who you think is the weakest link.
Di.
Di.
Holly.
Di.
Chioma.
Di.
Holly.
Chioma, the part-time mother with the voice. What else can you sing for us?
And please, give me something. Come on.
Do you like country?
Not really.
No, well then you see you don't want what I want to give you.
Okay.
Summertime.
Okay, I could do that. Summertime, and the living is easy. Fish are jumping, and the cotton is high. Oh, your daddy's rich, and your ma is good looking. So hush, little baby, don't you cry.
Wow. Why die?
She lost us some money.
I don't suppose you can sing, Holly, can you?
I'm afraid I can't,
No.
no.
Can you tell me a joke?
Okay, yeah. Two peanuts walked into a bar. One of them was assaulted.
Why die?
Because I believe she got 2 questions wrong and I didn't really have much to bank that time round.
Die. You are the weakest link. Bye.
I think I got away with murder, actually. I've not been asked to belly dance, I've not been asked to sing, and I've come away scot-free.
Round 4 in the bank, £1,390. Another 10 seconds off the time. We'll start with the strongest link from the last round. That's Mark. Let's play the weakest link. Start the clock. Mark, in rugby, a rule violation in which the ball is fumbled by a player and pushed forward is called a what? Knock on or knock up?
Knock on.
Correct. Chioma, in celebrity, what is the surname of the performer whose 2009 sequel to his autobiography is entitled Saturday Night Peter, Memoirs of a Stand-Up Comedian?
Kay.
Correct, Craig. In chemistry, the mineral called silica that forms sand and quartz is a compound of silicon with which other element?
Oxygen.
Correct, Nicola. In awards, Mother Teresa, Desmond Tutu and Jimmy Carter have all won which Nobel Prize?
A Peace Prize?
Correct, Mike. In cinema, Robin Williams played an unorthodox teacher who encouraged his students to seize the day in which 1989 film?
Pass.
Dead Poets Society. Holly. In a newspaper, what C is the usual heading for the page of small advertisements in a newspaper that include jobs and items for sale?
Classified.
Correct, Mark. The 2-word term for rapid continuous shooting of a gun that also refers to questions that follow one another in swift succession is quick what?
Fire.
Correct. Chioma, in TV, the long-running soap opera, Pobl y Cwm, is made in which language?
Pass.
Welsh. Craig, in music, the Rickenbacker and Gretsch companies are famous for making which stringed instruments, harps or guitars?
Guitars.
Correct, Nicola. In baseball, the team that defeated the Philadelphia Phillies to win the 2009 World Series is called the New York what?
Yankees?
Correct, Mike.
Bank.
On the UK road network, which motorway passes closest to Milton Keynes, Northampton and Nottingham?
M6.
M1. Holly, in politics, what J is the actual first name of Gordon Brown and was also that of his predecessors Harold Wilson and Ramsay MacDonald?
Can you repeat the question, Anne?
In politics, what J is the actual first name of Gordon Brown and was also that of his predecessors Harold Wilson and Ramsay MacDonald?
Jack.
James. Mark. In medicine, inflamed skin on the buttocks of babies caused by not being changed often enough is known as what rash?
Nappy rash.
Correct. Geoma. In comparative anatomy, a spider normally has how many more legs than a human?
6.
Correct. Craig.
Bank.
In romantic customs, the acronym Holland, written on the envelope of a love letter, stands for Hope Our Love Lasts and Never What?
Dies.
Correct. Nicola. In
Bank.
wildlife. Time's up. Your bank was in time, and you won £110. But who should be busted for busking? Who's an industrial idiot? Who's losing you money? Time to vote off the weakest link.
With no correct answers, Mike is the weakest link. Craig is statistically the strongest link. But who will the team want off?
Voting over, it's time to reveal who you think is the weakest link.
Mike.
Mike.
Keoma.
Holly.
Mike.
Nicola.
Craig, why Mike?
I'm still getting bad memories of that Welsh girl, Anne.
Chioma, why Mike?
You got a couple of questions wrong.
He
and
was
you
the
lost.
worst player. Mike, you are the weakest link. Bye.
See, Craig actually voted for me because he said I'll remind him of a girlfriend he had in Wales. What Craig doesn't know is I am that girl and I'll be waiting for him in the car park.
Round 5, and you have £1,500. Another 10 seconds off the time. We'll start with the strongest link from the last round. That's Craig. Let's play the weakest link. Start the clock. Craig, in broadcasting in 1967, which channel became the first in Britain to show television programmes in colour?
BBC One.
BBC Two. Nicola. In agriculture, which four-letter word that rhymes with deep means to cut down or harvest the crop in a field?
Wheat.
Correct.
Bank.
Holly. In pop music, what C is the name of the Irish group who had a UK hit single in 1982 with the theme from Harry's Game?
Pass.
Clanad. Mark. In food, rosti is a Swiss dish traditionally made from which tuberous vegetable grated and fried until crisp and golden?
Leek.
Potato. Geoma. In maths, what is 222 multiplied by 2?
444.
Correct, Craig. In definitions, what B can mean both a plait of hair and a decorative band often made from gold threads and used on uniforms?
Braid.
Correct. Nicola,
Bank.
according to the New Testament, before being crucified, Jesus was forced to wear a crown of what?
Thorns.
Correct.
Bank.
Holly. In books and films, which of these fictional characters has feathers? Clarice Starling or Jonathan Livingston Seagull?
Clarence Starling.
Jonathan Livingston Seagull. Mark. A type of coordinated movement by spectators in a stadium was named after which country when it occurred during the 1986 Football World Cup finals?
Mexico.
Correct. Geoma. The TV cartoon about a young girl and her friends, Charlie and Lily, who battle against supernatural monsters is called Mona the what?
Merciless.
Vampire. Craig. In horticulture, what A is the term for an area where trees and shrubs are cultivated for study and display?
An arboretum.
No, an arboretum. Nicola, in US slang, a nightclub or a bar that charges exorbitant prices is often referred to as a what joint?
Gin joint.
Clip. Holly.
Bank.
In food, which substance produced by heating sugar is added to malt vinegar to colour it brown?
Sorry, could you repeat the question?
In food, which substance produced by heating sugar is added to malt vinegar to colour it brown?
Alcohol.
Caramel. Mark, in the media, the former Conservative MP who became a political columnist for The Times. Time's up and you bank £90. So, who's jingle bells and who's alarm bells? Who's the clean sweep and who's the wet wipe? Time to vote off the weakest link.
As the only player to get all her answers wrong, Holly is the weakest link. The strongest link statistically is Nicola. But how will the votes go?
Voting over, it's time to reveal who you think is the weakest link.
Holly.
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 Chioma.
Holly.
Where'd you come from, Mark?
Macclesfield in Cheshire.
What do you do?
I'm a security consultant.
Are you the Kevin Costner of Macclesfield?
That would be nice to think of it that way, Anne, but it's not quite as glamorous as that, I'm afraid.
And who are you guarding?
Well, we look after businesses, open places, and occasionally people as well.
So, if Girls Aloud were visiting Macclesfield for fun, which is unlikely, and someone makes a kidnapping attempt on Cheryl Cole, do you rush to save her, or do you push Nicola into the arms of the kidnapper and say, take her instead?
It's a tough one, but it's Cheryl Cole, isn't it?
Yeah.
So
you'd sacrifice Nicola?
I'm afraid so. Sorry, Nicola.
Yeah. Why Holly?
She's been great all through the game, but...
Do you think she looks like Cheryl Cole? No?
No.
Would you save her if she was being kidnapped?
Of course I would, yes.
Would you save me?
Of course I am.
Why are you voting for her?
We've just got a few questions wrong in the last round, Anne.
Nicola?
Anne.
Why Holly?
I think she's the weakest link.
I think she's much younger than you.
Oh, yes, she has got that, but I've got
better
experience on my side.
Holly, you are the weakest link. Bye.
I got the vinegar question wrong, slipped up on that. Obviously, I don't know that much about vinegar, but I think I'll be leaving the acid wit to Anne from now on.
Round 6 in the bank, £1,590. Another 10 seconds off the time. We'll start the strongest link from the last round. That's Nicola. Let's play the weakest link. Start the clock. Nicola, in psychology, a graph showing the acquisition of knowledge is called a learning what? Arc or curve?
Curve.
Correct. Mark, in history, the leader of the 18th century mutiny on HMS Bounty was Fletcher who?
Christian.
Correct. Bank. Chioma, in fashion, what C is the term normally applied to jewellery made using imitation stones that resemble precious gems but are much cheaper?
Costume.
Correct. Craig. In which sport did a women's team representing the United States defeat Europe in 2009 to retain the Solheim Cup?
Golf.
Correct. In language, which word follows cubby and pigeon to make two terms for types of storage space?
Hole.
Correct. Mark. In money, the portraits of the Queen on all current British coins show which profile of her face, her left or her right?
Her left, Anne.
Her right. Chioma, what is the two-letter spelling of the form of address pronounced Ms. that is used by women who prefer to avoid specifying their marital status?
MS.
Correct. Craig. In film, the actor who was the comedy partner of Jack Lemmon in The Odd Couple and Grumpy Old Men was Walter who?
Matthau.
Correct. Nicola,
Bank.
in heraldry, the national flags of Denmark, Norway, Sweden, Finland and Iceland all feature which symbol slightly off-centre?
Cross.
Correct. Mark, in art, what O is the title of the controversial 1863 painting by Manet depicting a nude courtesan looking directly at the viewer?
Pass.
Olympia. Chioma, in animal anatomy, the body of an insect is divided into three main parts called the head, the thorax and which other?
The body.
Abdomen. Craig, in geography, what is the modern-day name of the island country in the Indian Ocean with its commercial capital at Colombo?
Sri Lanka.
Correct. Nicola.
Bank.
In music, the progressive rock supergroup who had a UK hit single in 1977 with fanfare for the common man is called Emerson, Lake and who?
Palmer.
Correct. Mark. In British mythology, the Celtic giant whose head buried in a white tower supposedly protects... Time's up. You won £120, but consider this. Is Craig about to crash land? Maybe Mark isn't very secure. Perhaps you won't be consulting Chioma. Or is Nicola too taxing? Time to vote off the weakest link.
For the second round in a row, Nicola is the strongest link. Statistically, Mark is the weakest link. But will the other players realise that?
Voting over. It's time to reveal who you think is the weakest link.
Mark.
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 Nicola.
Chioma, why Mark?
I thought he was a bit lonely all the way over there.
Nicola, why Mark?
He got a few wrong in the last round.
Mark, you are the weakest link. Goodbye.
When the balls got turned over and I saw my name 3 times, that was probably the only thing that I would have got right that round, because I knew it was coming.
Round 7 in the bank, £1,710. Another 10 seconds off the time. We'll start with the strongest link for the last round. That's Nicola. Let's play the weakest link. Start the clock. Nicola, in sporting venues, the Don Valley Athletics Stadium is in which city in northern England?
Doncaster?
Sheffield. Chioma, in US education, the Ivy League university in the state of Connecticut has what 4-letter name?
Yale?
Correct, Craig.
Bank.
In London, what L is a theatre named after a school in ancient Athens that was renowned for having Aristotle as one of its teachers?
Lyceum.
Correct, Nicola. In physics, which property of an electrical circuit is measured in units called ohms?
The power?
Resistance. Chioma, in travel, which word precedes flap and guard to give terms for 2 splash protectors attached to the wheels of a car and a bike, respectively?
Tyre?
Mud. Craig, in the TV series Blackadder Goes Forth, the smarmy assistant to General Melchett had what name, Private Precious or Captain Darling?
Captain Darling.
Correct, Nicola.
Bank.
In the human respiratory system, the 2 main bronchi are tubes that link the trachea to which pair of organs?
The lungs.
Correct.
Bank.
Chioma. In literature, the 1974 novel by Frederick Forsyth about the invasion of an African country by mercenaries is entitled The Dogs of what?
War.
Correct, Craig.
Bank.
In Crime and Punishment, what B is the former name for penal institutions for young offenders derived from that of a village in Kent?
Borstal.
Correct, Nicola.
Bank.
What is the stage name of the US singer-songwriter born Shaffer Shamir Smith, whose 2008 UK hit album was entitled Year of the Gentleman?
Will Smith?
Neo. Chioma, in difficult situations, people are said to have their backs to which upright structure?
Wall.
Correct, Craig.
Bank.
In sport, which specific equestrian discipline involves performing the piaffe and the pirouette?
Dressage.
Correct, Nicola.
Bank.
Which English town that features in the title of a poem by Oscar Wilde is spelt the same as a word that means the perusal of written text?
Reading. Bank.
Correct. Time's up. That was the correct answer, and your bank was in time, and you won £160. Now, in round 8, you get the chance to treble what you bank. Time to vote off the weakest link.
Nicola goes from being the strongest link in the last 2 rounds to the weakest link in this. Craig is statistically the strongest link, but who will survive the final vote?
Voting over, it's time to reveal who you think is the weakest link.
Nicola.
Nicola.
Chioma.
Craig, why Nicola?
It was very difficult to tell which player was the weakest there, Anne, but I thought throughout the whole game Chioma's been slightly better.
Chioma, why Nicola?
I think she had a bad round.
Nicola, you are the weakest link. Goodbye.
I don't think I'm going to make a career out of belly dancing. It was a one night only, one off, and the public have seen all they're going to see.
Round 8, in the kitty, £1,870. In this round, 90 seconds, but whatever you win will be trebled. We'll start with the strongest link from the last round, that's Craig. Let's play the weakest link. Start the clock. Craig, in cinema, which Italian director, famous for his spaghetti westerns, made the 1964 film A Fistful of Dollars?
Sierra Leone.
No, Sergio Leone. Chioma. In the countryside, the initials AONB, which are applied to particularly scenic landscapes, stand for Area of Outstanding Natural what?
Beauty.
Correct, Craig.
Bank.
In history, which medical disorder characterized by an inability of the blood to clot was suffered by the last crown prince of Russia?
Pass.
Haemophilia. Chioma. In the media, the cartoonist whose satirical strip entitled If began appearing in The Guardian in 1981 is Steve who?
Schultz.
Bell. Craig. Which term for a space empty of matter is the name given in the home to both an electrical cleaner and an insulated flask?
Vacuum.
Correct.
Bank.
Chioma. In classical music, a well-known 18th century choral work by Handel is called Zadok the what?
Pass.
Priest. Craig. In children's TV, which long-running programme featured a cow called Ermintrude and a snail named Brian?
Magic Roundabout.
Correct.
Bank.
Chioma. In literature, the 2007 novel by Danny Scheinman, set both in the First World War and the 1990s, is entitled Random Acts of Heroic what?
Kindness.
Love. Craig. In cooking, when used as a measurement, which size of spoon has a capacity equal? Time's up. You won £60, which we will treble. It gives you prize money today of £2,050. There can only be one winner. Now up to 5 questions each. If there's a tie, we'll go for sudden death. So, Chioma and Craig for £2,050. Let's play The Weakest Link. Craig is the strongest link in the last round. You have the choice of who goes first.
Ladies first, Dan.
Chioma, in tennis, Juan Martín del Potro, who defeated Roger Federer in the 2009 US Open final to win his first Grand Slam title, is from which South American country?
Brazil.
The correct answer is Argentina. Craig, in food history in the 1930s, Harlan Sanders began providing meals for visitors to his roadside service station in which US state?
Kentucky.
That is the correct answer. Chioma, around the world, the learning of which language is promoted by an organisation called the Goethe Institute?
German.
That is the correct answer. Craig. In aviation in 2009, the airport of which British university city rebranded itself as a London destination, despite being some 60 miles from the capital?
Stansted.
The correct answer is Oxford. Chioma, in entertainment, the comedian Julian Clary became well known in the 1980s, performing as the self-styled fan club of which British actress?
Pass.
Correct answer is Joan Collins. Craig, in TV, which police drama series ran for 21 years, from 1955 to 1976, and had as its theme tune a song called An Ordinary Copper?
Dixon of Dock Green.
That is the correct answer. Chioma. In maths, what is the cube root of 216?
6.
That is the correct answer. Craig, in political literature, the 2003 memoir entitled Madam Secretary was written by which former US Secretary of State?
Hillary Clinton.
The correct answer is Madeleine Albright. Chioma, in theatre, Stephen Sondheim took the title for the show A Little Night Music from the English translation of the name of a work by which composer?
Bach.
Correct answer is Mozart. Craig, in geography, the 4-letter name of which shipping forecast area is also that of a flat fish as well as a word meaning alone?
Seoul.
That is the correct answer. That means, Craig, you are today's strongest link and you go away with £2,050. Chioma, you leave with nothing. Join us again for the weakest link. Bye.
Anne Robinson is a pussycat. I love her. She is so brilliant. I couldn't have asked for anything more than being able to sing in front of her.
Don't know what I'm going to spend the prize money on yet. I was going to buy a goat because I hate cutting the grass, but I think a holiday might be better.
Fighting for a place in the semi-finals, our 4 heat winners return, but Greg and John are not easily impressed. MasterChef at 8:30 on BBC One.
There can only be one Dorothy. Join Andrew Lloyd Webber as he starts his search. Over the Rainbow begins Friday at 9 on BBC One.
You are a very beautiful woman.
We should go upstairs.
I can't do this.
Oh, don't you find me attractive?
Yes, you're lovely, but you're married.
No one need know.
I would know.
Oh, please just go while I still have some dignity left.
Go to bbc.co.uk/iPlayer to find out more.
Looking at our vibrant, hectic world, we think we spot everything.
But right in the midst, there's a whole other world going on. Using the latest camera technology, we can overcome the limitations of our eyes to see whole new worlds.
See what you can't see with Richard Hammond's Invisible Worlds, tomorrow at 9 on BBC One.
At 6 o'clock, the BBC News now on BBC One with Sophie Rayworth and Riz Latif.
British Airways shows no sign of blinking